Oh boy, back for our final day. I am gonna get this thing here started and let it start warming up, and we'll run down here. We'll run down here to this next pile and I'll show you what we got going on. It is gonna be, I'm not gonna go saying it's gonna be a challenge, but it is definitely gonna be interesting. Okay, boys and girls, this is our last little bit of what we got to do here. I don't, for the life of me, understand why they did this. And I know my last video lost me some subscribers. Not the last one, but the last brush stacking video lost me some subscribers probably because I was bad-mouthing loggers. And I don't mean to bad-mouth loggers, guys. I truly, honestly don't. But I don't understand why they did what they did here. So what we got is, that's a big rock. There's a little road that runs up along here, and the only thing I can think of is that they were bringing logs down right into this area and processing it all right here. Or they processed them all out here, and then they threw all this brush up against that bank. But it's the same dang thing as before. It's just... it's not stacked up to where you can really do anything with it. And I wanted to just kind of park the pickup there for scale. This right here is the top of the brush all the way down. And it goes back up over there probably another 45, 50 feet. So I've been racking my brain on how to handle this one. And I think that the best thing that I can do is if I walked over here, there is a road that goes around and goes up on top of this stuff. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to come down with the excavator. I'm going to go around. I'm going to get up there on top, and I'm going to throw this stuff out as far as I can to get it away from that hill. And then come down underneath of it, and for the most part, all I'm going to do is just pull it away from that hill. When the client and I had originally talked about doing this, we were going to try and stack it out over here, but without a dozer to shove it over there, I'm not going to even try. All I'm going to do is I'm going to get it away from the hill and just try and make one long pile here for them to dispose of. So... again, I don't know why they did it like this. I really don't. I have never seen brush laid in on a hill like that. I've seen it stacked up there in a big pile. But then again, you know, I haven't really worked for the type of people I think log this property. I know people think I'm smashing on loggers. I'm not. Whoever logged this, they just didn't do a very good job. I mean, you know, it's also on the property owner too. The property owner, whoever owned it before these folks, they didn't come down here and clean anything up. I mean, this right here is just, this whole property is nothing but a forest fire waiting to happen, unfortunately. So, the excavator is back up over there about 1/4 of a mile. And then I'll walk up there and grab it and clean the road up as I come down, and then we'll get to it. I'll get up there on top of that hill or up on top of this stuff as best as possible and start hoe chucking it down here. So I parked the excavator over there where you guys can see it, see what I'm talking about here. That's not as close as I can get. I could get a little bit closer if I turn the house and go up that way. That gives you an idea how high it is. I know, it's not 80 feet high. That thing, not even at full reach. If I were way close, I could reach a little bit farther. But it's up there a bit. That's every bit of probably, I don't know, 15, almost 20 feet. I think this thing's got to reach 25 feet high, something like that. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is that this thing's stacked where it's a sheer wall. And so what I'm afraid of is if I come in from the bottom and try and reach up there and pull that stuff down, I'm going to pull it right in on top of me. So like I said, there's a little road that goes along the top. I'm going to get up there and see if I can't hoe chuck a good chunk of that down here. I'll start at this end, I'll work my way all the way across, And then when I get done, I'll come down the bottom and I'll pull it all out and try and get it stacked up in a one bigger pile right here. I'm trying to get it cleaned up too, because it's not very clean. It's not very clean at all. There's a moose out here somewhere, so I gotta be real careful wandering around. Freaking moose are dangerous. They'll freaking kick the ever-loving dog crap out of you. Ain't that right, all my Canadian friends? So I've been cooking right along here about the first hour, and about halfway through this ledge there's just a lot of it that's gonna have to be left behind. Got so much dirt and stuff in it. I'm kind of thinking I might end up having to do like I did out front and make 2 piles just for the sake of 2 piles. It's gonna take forever to transfer all this brush around. I do kind of wish I had a cat down there, because if I had a cat down there, I could come in and hit with the corner of the blade and get it out, and just kind of get it out that way and shove it over into a spot. I really need to buy an 8. I know I need to buy an 8. I just really need to do it. For this kind of stuff, that little 6 would be a little too small. Just doesn't have the mass. I think I'm gonna, my next trip over, I'm gonna go look at that 8 that's up in Springbrook and just see if we can't swing a deal on it. And see if we can't swing a deal on that 6. Need 2 of them, 6 and an 8. But took some video on my phone. I don't know if it's gonna make it into this or not. This is what I've been dealing with up here. It's just it's almost like they tried to put this road to bed, and I understand the thought process behind that. Sometimes it's what the state makes you do on state jobs, is make the road go bye-bye. But this isn't a state job. And good God, this goes back in there. Oh, look at that. Huh, right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Right there, there's a bucket hidden in there. Good God, these guys go through like freaking, they must have had some hellacious leaks on their freaking machinery. There's like 40-50 gallons worth of hydraulic buckets laying on this job. Anywho, I figure give me about another half hour, 40 minutes, and I'll be back in over there. I'll have everything chucked over the edge, and I can get down below and start picking everything up and trying to get it in a pile. Like I said, I think I'm going to divide this in half and build the pile out over that way. Divide it in half and build the pile right here. Without a dozer, it's just going to take way too dang long to try and move all this stuff down that hill where it can be in one pile. I don't know. Golly. Had a gal leave me a voicemail. Say she had 4 or 5 brush piles on her property. She needed to get restacked. Well, I come up and look at them, but $1,900 a day now for this excavator. Honestly, clean it up a little bit to make it look halfway decent. I mean, honestly, if it was me, I'd pull this stuff down just a little bit. I'd stump all that out there, and then I'd take all that dirt and I'd shove it up and over the top of it. They're wanting to dig a pond here anyway. Hey, I'll try to make a pond here. If you're gonna make a pond here, I take all this material, bring it up here on this hill, and I shove all that dirt up against it. This isn't very good pond country here in this part of the water. Unless you're laying down in a valley like what this is, you're gonna be hard pressed I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying in some places it's a challenge. This thing's starting to do a go slow and warm up thing again. Now that I got a decent paying job in my arsenal, I think when we get done with that, I might actually just call a heavy equipment guy and have him come out, hook some gauges up to the pumps and see what the pumps are going at. It could just be the pumps being turned up, but I honestly think it's got some seals going out. Okay guys, much as I hate to say it, I'm throwing in the towel on this one. Let me tell you why. The 160 is too small to be wrangling this. I can't reach up there and grab a good majority of that stuff, and a lot of it's just staying right out of reach. But the other reason, it has nothing to do with the machine, it has nothing to do with me, it has nothing to do with anything other than I don't know how well it picks up. But look at all the dirt that's in this. Okay, look at all the dirt that's in this. I am not set up with the bucket to be able to separate this stuff out where it'll come out clean. It's just not gonna happen. All I'm gonna do is just create a massive mess. I've been trying to get this stuff out, but look at all the dirt that's in it. And look at how much of it's getting left behind. You know? There's a bunch of it being left behind. I need a 200 size machine, 250 size machine in here with a big brush rake to rake this all out. I cannot do it with that bucket. The reason being is it's not any one thing, it is all kinds of crap. I'll be trying to drag the teeth down through that, and I'll wind up one of these great big massive logs, and it just pulls down a whole buttload of dirt and everything else. So this is what my fear is. I'm gonna pull all this out, and now you can see for scale just how big this really is here with the 160 sitting here. My fear is I'm gonna pull all this out. I am gonna make a pile that takes up this entire area that they can't burn because it is full of dirt. And honestly, I don't even know what the heck they can do about it right now, other than in the spring, get a guy in here with a rake on the end of his excavator and just have him come down through here and rake this crap out. Because this pile right here might have a chance of burning, but it was all the stuff that was stacked up here on the very end. I feel like I am wasting my time and their time with this. I don't know. I can see what they did too, because there's stumps and all kinds of other crap in it. They had a brush pile sitting right in here, and instead of stacking it up there with an excavator or something, they got back with the dozer and just started shoving it up that hill. I found some dozer tracks here a minute ago, old ones, but that's all they did. They just came down through here and shoved that crap up that with the bulldozer. So the only cost-effective thing that I can think of to do here, I'm walking around here a second looking at it, the only cost-effective thing that I can think of to do here is that we got that D8H, and it's got 3-barrel rippers on it. As I'd bring that in next year, about where the excavator's at is at the bottom of that hole right there, and I'd go over about where those brush piles were at, and I'd rip this whole area and I'd shove all the dirt up and out, and I'd bring this down about 2-3 feet, and then I'd get up behind this pile and I'd shove this whole pile off into this bowl and walk that D8 back and forth across it a bunch of times, really cram it and smash it down in there, and then with the D8 you could pop all these stumps in this area right here out, and then I'd just get back up in there and I'd start pushing this out across here and flatten it out and just push all that dirt out across that and just make it one with the landscape because of how much dirt there is in it. That's the only thing I can think of to really do with it, outside of sitting here for 3 days trying to sift through it with an excavator and a rake. So the 160 is just too small. I had somebody comment to me face to face on the whole entire road widening thing, going, man, you were putting that 160 through a lot. It's like, yeah, maybe I was. Maybe I just need to be in a, I need to be in a 200 or bigger size machine, I think. So, but that's the only thing I can think of with the amount of dirt that's in here. If they want to get rid of that, is I'd just come in here with that 8. I'd start right here where this big rock's at, and I'd try and get that bastard up out of the ground, but I just rip all this down to that grade. That's about 5 feet deep out and around this way. Get all that dirt up out of there, and I'd shove that entire pile down in there and lay it out flat as I could, pack it in tight with that frickin' 8, and then shove all that dirt back out over the top of it and contour that hill and everything. It'd take a couple of days, I think, but that would be cheaper than sitting here with an excavator for a week trying to sift through it. So, alrighty, I'm gonna go break their heart and let them know what's what. I don't like walking away from a job, but at some point in time, you gotta know when you're beating your head up against a wall, and that's all I'm doing here. Especially up there on top, it wasn't that bad, and I thought we were doing okay up there. Is once we got down here on the hillside, you know, especially back there, it just gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. I mean, I've been farting around there for over an hour just getting those 2 little piles cleaned out, and they still got a bunch of dirt in them. So, but yep, okie dokie, we'll chat with you guys here in a bit. We're gonna be moving the excavator here in about 3 hours.